Yo guys, I had a breakthrough today. So I was researching gender. I did this Grease cover where I was cosplaying as Sandy and also singing her part. And from that, I just went on a rabbit hole just studying gender, and I realized that gender fluidity is not what I thought it meant. Like, my understanding of what it meant was that gender identity is like a fluid identity changing over time, like how you feel inwardly about your gender that changes from masculine to feminine to other. It just changes over time. But then I realized that gender fluidity, there's so much more than just a fluid identity over time. That it can also mean your gender expression, meaning how you express, how you act out your gender, like what you do in the external world. So there's gender identity, how you feel about yourself internally, and then there's gender expression, which is how you express your gender, what you do on the outside. And I realized that, I even though I identify as cisgender male, I see myself internally, I feel internally as a male. I realize that my gender expression is actually gender fluid. It can be at times, sometimes. Like, it brings me back because this rabbit hole I went on just made me connect a lot of dots that I didn't really see. And that's that whenever I was younger, I would paint my nails, and then I was actually researching that too. I was questioning, like, why is it okay for women to have long nails, but then males not? I mean, my nails are kind of getting long already, but why is it okay for women to have long nails and men not? And like my mom would always say, women are always going to look at your nails. Like job interviewers, they're always going to look at your nails. But women, like, they don't, the job interviews, like if you have long nails as women, they won't really look down on you for that unless there's dirt under them. But if you have long nails, it doesn't matter if they're clean or not. They'll still look down on you. But any rate, I was researching that, and I realized that women having long nails back then was a status symbol, because if you had long nails, that meant that you weren't really involved in any manual labor, didn't have to do as much housework. But I was researching that, and then women started to actually grow their nails out longer to attract wealthier males. That's what I was researching, just the history about that. And then now it's become a fashion symbol nowadays where long nails is associated with beauty. And of course with men, we got to keep it shorter because we're doing manual labor. The stereotypical men work, women take care of the kids in the home. The gender fluidity is it's something that's really blowing my mind, that even though I was painting my nails when I was younger, I was trying on different makeup and stuff as a young kid, I would get criticized by my peers, by other kids, and it's just, made fun of and stuff. And it's like it prevented me from exploring that part of myself. And of course, today it's the same way, even in adulthood, that adults are just like kids these days. They'll make fun of you just for being who you are. So notice that I really love going into the worlds of female characters. And I also love making female characters on like video games as well, playing as females, because I love to explore the mind of a female as well as a male. But when I'm playing these video games, I just love experiencing the world from a female perspective. And I don't know, it's just so complicated. I also noticed this about myself, is that I would love to go into choir and sing the female parts, like the soprano one part, the alto and the mezzo soprano part. I would go, who is that girl I see staring straight back at me? Why is my reflection someone I don't know? So I have this article, I have it screenshotted, I'll post it right here. I'll put the link in the description, but it's from Harvard, and it just helped me to see that gender fluidity is not just about a gender stable identity. So one thing that I noticed is that there is no concept that's the opposite of gender fluidity. like I thought about gender stability, but I looked it up, and it really refers to a time in childhood where a child develops their sense of gender, a constant state of gender. But there's nothing about that across the lifespan, that there's gender fluidity where our gender can change throughout time, our identity or our expression, but then they really should have gender stability as a concept. And I almost want to coin that to say that, you know, the norm, quote unquote, is gender stability, which is you being one gender throughout your lifetime. You know, you expressing yourself in one gender throughout your lifetime. Like, you know, you're a man, don't do girl stuff. You're a girl, don't do man stuff. But really, to me, that's kind of boring. And I think gender fluidity is something that's important that we all kind of experience, is different worlds. Doesn't mean you have to go be a full-on drag queen or whatever, or a drag king. It's just, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling on here. There's misconceptions that gender fluidity does not mean that, you know, you feel like you're a man one way and a woman the other way. Like, it means more than that. Like, it can mean that, but see, gender is so complicated that it's really hard, you know, it's hard to, you know, you can't really scientifically measure it. It's subject to you and how you define, you know, certain terms and how you identify with yourself. And that's something that really science can't really investigate. I mean, they can do some, but, you know, how you identify yourself, how you feel internally about yourself, and as well as how you express yourself outwardly as well, that's something that, you know, it's hard to pinpoint. You know, not all gender fluids are going to be the same, right? Just like not all men are going to be the same, right? It's really just about being who you are in this world without restrictions. And that's a difficult thing. Sometimes we don't have the privilege to do that, but it really starts with courage. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. was in a world that hated him, and is in a world that would still hate him today. But you know what? He had the courage to get up on that podium and say what he needed to say, that he had a dream. Now, what's your dream? Let's do it. Be yourself. Have that courage. Get up on that podium. We're all on that podium of life. It's about whether we're going to have the courage to say what we need to say. All right. Have a good one.